Hello everybody and welcome to TradeStation's Market Review. My name's Simon Clarke from Trade with Precision, and I'll be discussing a general review of some of the most interesting markets and trends that I'm interested in right now. Now, before we take a look at some new markets, let's do a quick recap of the markets that we looked at last week. And if we take a look at the mini Dow futures contract first of all, I liked the higher time frame trends. The sort of market momentum here is certainly to the long side, but due to the more sort of sideways price action we had here on the daily chart, I was looking for more intraday trading opportunities on these lower time frames. So as I came down to the lower time frames, and I was looking around this level here, this 17,900 level, and looking for opportunities as the market came back into the averages and came back in to retest that level. So we can see that the market did both throughout the course of last week, and in fact it continued to make new highs towards the end of the week. At the tail end of last week, the market changed direction though. We then, certainly on these lower time frames, we've now put in a new downtrend, and the market's now broken underneath 17,900 again. So the fact that we're underneath that level, and it's such a strong level, and there's been tests and retests of this level many times, I just think we've got a nice decision point here, certainly in these lower time frame trends. So if the market finds resistance here, I'll be looking for continuation to the downside and new opportunities as the market comes down to these old lows. If we get a breakthrough this level, it could be a nice support level to help the market look for opportunities moving longer and higher. If we take a look at the next one, which was Euro GDP. Euro GDP, I was talking about this level, this support and resistance structure that we had here, and looking for opportunities lower. In fact, you can see what's happened. The market's broken underneath that level, but more interestingly now, it's come back to retest it again. So it's right at that decision point again. If we come down to the lower time frames and take a look at maybe the 2-hour chart, you can see that this level has acted as resistance. Once it broke, it's now been acting as really quite strong support as well. So again, I just think this is a nice decision point that we've got here in the market. If the market could break decisively above this level, and what I mean by that is maybe a break above it, a come back and retest it, and then a break higher again, then I'll be looking for moves up towards the next support and resistance level that, well, certainly on this time frame, I can see something here around the sort of 0.7273 area. But certainly at this moment in time, my preference is to the short side, based mainly on these higher time frame trends that all are very, very short at the moment. The last one that I spoke about last week was Euro AUD. Looking at this 1.4 thousand level more specifically, in fact, if we come down to the lower time frames and check the analysis here on the 60-minute chart, we can see that this is what we were looking at last week. This is the 1.4 thousand level. It got tested a couple of times, and then the market rolled over and we made new lows. I still like this market lower. Still think the trend has got more movement to go. So again, just looking for more opportunities as the market comes back into the moving averages. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of other opportunities this week. Dollar CAD is one of the markets I'm keeping a close eye on. The higher time frames here, like the monthly and the weekly, they are in uptrends, but certainly the monthly is, but it has been very overextended and due a pullback. So at this moment in time, the market sort of came up, it came to these old levels, this old highs up here, certainly a level of previous support and resistance, and so it's not really surprising that we've had a bit of a sell-off. It becomes a bit more interesting when we start to look at the daily chart. So we can see this 1.24 thousand level, the market's broken underneath that level now. Starting to look rather nice here. We've got convergence here on the indicators as well, so we've got agreement in the move down, and again maybe just looking for a bit of a pullback and continuation of trading opportunities short down towards these old lows. Now coming down to the lower time frames, you can start to see here on the 4-hour chart each time the market's sort of coming back into these averages, coming back into the moving averages, 10 and 20 period moving averages, again looking for opportunities to be able to trade this market short and moving down towards these old lows. Now if we take a look at the next one and take a look at CAD yen. Now CAD yen, if we take a look at the weekly chart, CAD yen, it's recently been in a strong move down, but we've found support at some of these tried and tested support and resistance structures. More recently, the market's moved up, it's made a high, it's pulled back to 94, which again has been another key support and resistance structure on these higher time frames, found support and now made a higher high. So here on the weekly chart, uptrend is now confirmed, and what I'm looking for, if we come down to the daily chart, is we're looking for opportunities as the market's sort of starting to pull back pull back towards the moving averages here. Now we can see here on the daily chart we've got our 94 level here. There's a couple of other levels that we can see. I've got 96.75 marked in here, which has been previous support, previous resistance, acting as a bit of support at this moment in time. Moving averages in the right order. We've got a nice structured uptrend here, and it's also got agreement here with convergence too with our indicators. So again, just starting to come down to these lower time frames, and you can start to see that we've got some nice market structure here. If I come down to the 4-hour time frame, here's our 96.75 level. Market's tested this, moved higher, had the pullback. We're back into the moving averages at the moment. So again, just looking for opportunities, trading opportunities higher on CAD yen. One last one that I'll take a quick look at is New Zealand dollar against the US dollar, specifically around this 0.77 level. We can see that if I just take a quick look at the weekly, we can see that the market's made a low, it's made a higher low, it's made a higher high and a higher high again. So the market's just recently turning around into an uptrend here on the weekly chart. Taking a look at the daily chart, we can see that the number of times that 76 and 77 have been tested, and more interestingly, the market is right there at 0.77 at the moment. So I think 0.77 is a clear decision point here in the markets. I do think that it's possibly due a little bit of a pullback at this moment in time because it's such a strong level, so maybe a pullback to that area and then a retest of it. At this moment in time, you can see that we've got some lovely trend structure here on these mid time frames. So here in the 240 chart, here's our 0.77 level just through here. So pulling back into these into the moving averages, looking for bullish momentum above this level, moving higher. So there's a few markets that I'm keeping a close eye on this week. What I'd like to do is just to draw your attention to the webinars that we're running throughout the course of the next few weeks here at TradeStation International. You can find more information out about these if you just come to the tradestationinternational.com website, come across here to the webinars tab, and then you can see all of the webinars that we're running and that are scheduled to run here. So you can just come along and click on subscribe to find out more information about these webinars and then register to join them. Okay, I hope you found it useful and look forward to speaking to you next week. Bye for now.